Today we will discuss about Lord Balaram. We will not discuss our regular Madhura today. Today is a very special day where we see that how Lord Balaram he appears. We see that how first Balaram comes in the womb of Mother Devi, and then Balaram was transported in the womb of Mother Rohini. In general, we have heard a mother having two children, and Balaram is the only one who has two mothers. And then when he comes here, for that time we see that how Nanda Maharaj wanted to have name giving ceremony of the both the children. So then he chooses a separate place, outside, and he calls it Gargamuni. And Gargamuni said that this child of yours is very special. The son of Rohini, he will give happiness to his relatives and friends by his transcendental qualities. And that's why he will be known as Rama. And he will manifest extraordinary body strength. That's why he will be known as a Balaram. And because he is uniting two families, that is the family of Vasudev and the family of Nanda Maharaj, so he will be known as Sankarshan. So these are the three names which Bharat Muni gives. So Bala, Rama, and Sankarshan. So Rama means that one who gives transcendental pleasure. Here it is mentioned because he will give all happiness to his relatives and friends. And Acharyas they explain that Rama means that whatever transcendental pleasure one gets by the practice of spiritual life, that comes from Lord Balaram. So we see that for making spiritual progress, one of very important aspects is that we have some higher taste, we get some higher taste, we have some spiritual bliss. So that higher taste, that spiritual bliss that comes from Lord Balaram. As we make progress, the more we have such experience, such blissful experience of spiritual life, and that much easy it becomes for us to embrace a spiritual life. Many of us are practicing spiritual life because we do have some spiritual happy experience or blissful experience. Some of us might have felt very good by chanting in association with devotees. Some of us might have felt very good having very good close friendship with some devotees. Or we might have felt very good by hearing such amazing purports in the Srila Prabhupada books, such amazing explanations of Krishna consciousness. Some of us might be feeling very happy to have this opportunity to live such a pure life. So we have some spiritual experience, some spiritual bliss, because of which we are able to continue in our spiritual life. So today is the day where we can pray for this Rama, where we can get some spiritual happiness in loving service to Lord Krishna. And that happiness will come from Lord Balaram. Another thing here he says is Balaha. He is the one who will manifest extraordinary body strength. So both material strength also and spiritual strength also, they both come from Lord Balaram. And especially for we devotees, spiritual strength is more important. So we need a lot of strength, especially in Kali Yuga, to practice spiritual life. And that strength also comes from Lord Balaram. It is not very easy being in Kali Yuga to practice spiritual life. In first canto, Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purport that each and every particle in the material world is charged with an opposition to Krishna consciousness. At very first place, our mind is dragging us down. Our senses are dragging us down. Our lethargy, the mode of ignorance is dragging us down. Then our material desires, they are pulling us down. Then the environment around, which is centered around bhoga, sense gratification, that is pulling us down. Our relatives who have made such plans for us to enjoy material life, they are the one who may pull us down. So practically you see, we are surrounded by so many parameters which are just pulling us down. But being surrounded by so many parameters, we have a sincere desire, no, I want to practice spiritual life. So this desire and this strength comes by the mercy of Lord God. It is not easy in Kaliuga to have this strength in spite of so many pullings. Still, we make a resolve that no, I want to get up early. I want to chant 16 rounds. I want to follow the devotee of the Lord. I want to follow four regular principles. I want to serve by selflessly, very nicely. So there's a spiritual strength in the material world to practice spiritual life comes from Lord God. In one way, it is not natural to be a devotee in the material world. It is natural to be a devotee in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everyone is practicing. But we see, on the contrary, in the material world, everyone is running behind material nothing. And in that environment, for us to practice spiritual life, how difficult it is. So Prabhupada says that the moment you take up a spiritual life, you raise a war against mind. And you are in a place which is governed by mind, which is controlled by mind. And you have raised a war against mind. How difficult it is. So we need a lot of spiritual strength and bodily strength also to serve Krishna very nicely. So this also will come by the mercy of Lord Balaram. Today the day where we can pray that may I remain physically healthy so that I can use uh, each part of my body and my energy in the loving service of Lord Krishna and devotees. And also I can get a spiritual strength so that I keep my commitment to my spiritual master, Krishna Prabhupada. I don't get swayed by any attractions where I break for gravity principles. Please give me strength to protect myself from all the impurities, contaminations which are in the world around. So that strength also comes from Lord Balaram. And third, he says this, he is the one who unites two families, Vasudev's family and Nanda Maharaj. So when you keep Lord Balaram in the center, then we can have unity. If we don't keep Lord Balaram in the center, then it is very difficult to have unity. And in our life, who is the representative of Lord Balaram? That is Srila Prabhupada. So in one offering, His Holiness Swami Maharaj had written, so he was saying that Srila Prabhupada is the only unifying factor in ISKCON. And it is a fact. Today ISKCON is together. Why? Because to the extent each member of ISKCON is trying to keep Prabhupada in the center, to that extent ISKCON will be together. Just imagine if Srila Prabhupada was not in the center, then today within ISKCON also so many groups, so many parts and segments would have been formed. So Srila Prabhupada is a representative of Lord Balaram, and then those who are sincerely following Srila Prabhupada, they are also representative of Lord Balaram. So we see that how when we keep Srila Prabhupada in the center, then we can have unity among the devotees. Otherwise, within such an amazing organization also, we may have a lot of difficulties. So putting Guru in the center, putting pleasure of Guru in the center like this, then it helps devotees to be united. So these are the three names which Garg Muni gave to Lord Balaram. So Balaramji is the first expansion from Lord Krishna. And from Balaramji only Sankarshan comes, and then from him only Mahavishnu comes, then from him only Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Sudaksha Vishnu, and then Anantases. So with the help of Mahasankarshan, Balaramji manifests full spiritual world. And with the help of other Purusha avatars, Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Sudaksha Vishnu, he manifests whole material world and everything in the material world. So can you imagine how much Lord Balaram is playing his role in order to serve Lord Krishna? So Prabhupada very beautifully, he said that how Krishna is a Sevi Bhagavan and Balaramji is a Seva Bhagavan. He is a personality of servitude Godhead. And Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So can you imagine In one way, Balramji is equally powerful and is not different from Krishna, but his mood is of a servant. And we also, being a living entity, although we are part and parcel of Krishna, we also have this kind of situation and position that we are supposed to serve Krishna. And Balramji is actually representing Guru Tattva, and he, by his example, teaches us how every moment of life, every aspect of our life, whatever we have, is only for one purpose, that is to serve Krishna. And that's why we see Balramji in so many aspects, he just serving Krishna. So whole spiritual world is manifested by him, whole material world is manifested by him. Everything in the material world also is manifested by Balaram in order to serve Krishna. Now, in general, you will find in the material world, people have a conception, oh, how unfortunate Krishna is God, but Balaram is servant. Balaram is unfortunate. So generally in the material world, people have concept, if you ask them that, do you want to become master or servant? What they will say? Master. Because in the material world, everyone has a conception that if you become master, then you can control, then you can enjoy, then you can have more better situation. And the moment you become servant, then you have to become slave, then you will be controlled, then you don't have freedom for enjoyment. So material conception goes like this. So because of this, it's very difficult to understand the exalted position of Lord Balaram. But if you see in the spiritual world, a servant enjoys much more than the master also in his loving service to the master. So although Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Balaram is the supreme personality of servitude to Godhead, but actually Balaram enjoys much more than Krishna. And that's the reason that Krishna feels that why my devotees in my service, they enjoy much more than me also. And that's why he want to come as devotee. He want to come as a servant to experience that special happiness which devotees they get. So this is represented by Balaram, that how you enjoy transcendental happiness much more than the Lord also by becoming his loving servant. And that's why we see Balaramji is always in service. Like that. There is no other time like that. So this is how we see Balaramji manifest. And then we see that how, as Ananta says, also the whole Brahmanda is, on the top of Ananta says. And it is mentioned that it is like a mustard seed. He does not feel the weight also. Such huge planets and so many things are around. And Balaramji, for him, it is a side service, it does not weight him much like that. So that is the power and the potency of Lord Balaram, like this. And from Balaram only we see through these Purus avatars, all the incarnations they manifest in different Brahmandas, like that. So Balaramji is original Adi Guru, is the original Guru Tattva. And he is the one actually who by his example teaches all the jivas how to serve Krishna. So Balaramji in all his incarnations, you will find his special rasa is service to Krishna. You see as Lakshman when he comes, how he just wants to serve Krishna. As Nityananda when he comes, he just wants to glorify and make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as famous. Nityananda did not mind getting hurt also by Jagai and Madai. For the purpose he wanted that Mahaprabhu should be glorified. And that is the mood of Lord Balaram, and that is the mood of any true representative of Lord Balaram also. He does not mind taking any hardship for glorifying Krishna. He does not mind taking any trouble for glorifying Krishna. That's the mood of Balaram is representative. And we see that how, because of this reason, Krishna loves Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda. Krishna loves Lord Balaram. Krishna loves Lakshman. Because of their selfless service, because of their selfless sacrifice. And that's why we see in Ramayana when Lakshman he gets this Sakti Ban. So that time Lord Ram starts crying and he says, what is the use of my life if I don't have Lakshman? Same way we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling to Srivas, Srivas, why you are keeping Nityananda? He is a madman. And Shiva says, no, Mahaprabhu, it is my great fortune to have Nityananda Prabhu in my house. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so happy that you are so fortunate, you have understood who is Nityananda Prabhu. And then Mahaprabhu says, even if tomorrow Nityananda Prabhu has Vaishya in one hand and has a liquor bottle in another hand, still I will worship him. That is the exalted position of Lord Balaram. That's the exalted position of Lord Nityananda. So how much Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very happy. We see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this mean Niketan Ram Das. So we see that how he had love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, respect for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not for Nityananda Prabhu. And then we see how much Krishnadas Kaviraj is condemning him. He's saying, better you be atheist, better you don't follow anyone, instead of having the respect and love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and neglecting Nityananda Prabhu. We see that how much Acharyas and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord himself, how much they understand and value the position of Lord Balaram. And that's how we see the representative also becomes equally important, because to the extent they are purely representing, to that extent they become equally important and dear to Krishna. And that's how we see Prabhupada holds a very special position, being a special representative of Lord Balaram. So there are many pastimes of Lord Balaram who he performs. But we'll discuss only one pastime as time is very less. So you will find in Krishna Leela, there are only two demons who were killed by Balaram. One is Lambasur, one is Bhinkasur. All other demons were killed by Krishna. So there is a special significance why these two demons were in particularly killed by Lord Balaram. And there were two occasions when Balaram was not there with Krishna. Those two pastimes happened on Balaram Purnima day, that means today. So one pastime is Aghasur killing, another pastime is Kaliya killing. And why Krishna purposefully chose these 2 days for these two pastimes? Because both are snakes. Kaliya also is a snake, Aghasur also is a snake. So that's why Krishna kept Balramji out of these two pastimes, because then if Balramji would have been there when Krishna was playing with Kaliya, then Balramji would have felt that he never play on me like this, and this insignificant Kaliya. You are very confident. And if Balramji would have seen Aghasur, Balramji would have told, "Arey, kya hai ye? Isko nahi dekh logta hai." So Krishna would be deprived from the opportunity to kill Aghasur. So when these two snakes, demons came, so Balramji was out of the pastime. And other two are Dhenkasur and Plambasur, where Krishna gave opportunity to Balaram to kill. So Acharyas, they say that these two pastimes, they represent special significance, that why Balaramji killed them. So we'll discuss only one of them, that is Dhenka pastime. So what happened is when Krishna and Balaram they grew up, so they were given charge of the cows, that now you can take the cows for herding. So when Krishna and Balaram they are going for the first time in the forest, so all the trees they are bowing down to the lotus feet of the Lord. And you see, Krishna is so special. This is a special rasa in the spiritual world. Even God wants to become servant of his devotees. Even God wants to serve. So the Lord, when he saw the trees coming down, the Lord is giving credit to Balaram. The Lord is saying that, see, Bhaiya, how these trees, they are going their head your lotus feet. They are offering Bhaiya all the fruits and flowers to you. And by doing so, they will come out of the ignorance and they will be able to free from their bondage. So this is beauty of Bhakti Yoga. In one way, whatever we have is given by Lord himself. But when we offer it back to the Lord, then what happens is we are free from our material bondage. Many times those who are in material consciousness, they may feel, what great is in giving to God. But when we give, then we are free from our material bondage. So these trees, what they have only fruits and flowers. So then they are offering those fruits and flowers to the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna is giving this credit to Balaramji. And then there are bees. So when Krishna and Balaram they are walking, so these bees they are making humming sound, and they are rotating like this. Mm. So you see how amazing Lord is. Krishna is saying that Bhaiya, see these bees they are worshipping you, and while worshipping they are glorifying you. They are saying how Balaram is so special and things like that. So like that Krishna is telling. And then there are peacocks who are dancing. So Krishna is saying that see, these peacocks are dancing before you out of joy. They became so happy seeing you, Balaramji. And these dogs, they are pleasing you with affectionate glances, just as the gopis they do. And these cuckoos, they are singing Vedic hymns for your pleasure. They are offering prayers to you. All these residents of the forest are most fortunate because they have understood how to receive a great soul. And whom Krishna is referring to, Balaramji. That all the residents of this forest, they are so fortunate because they have understood how to receive a great soul, that is Balaram. You see, Krishna becomes so happy that Balaramji and his representatives are received properly and are respected properly. You see how much it is connected. Krishna is becoming so happy. And then Krishna is saying, this earth has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your lotus feet. Because Balramji is walking and he's touching the grass, creepers with fingernail and the feet. And you touched rivers, mountains, birds, animals. You touched rivers and mountains, and birds and animals, you were glancing at them. So how this earth became very fortunate? Uh, when we were reading this Yamunacharya pastime, so when Yamunacharya leaves, so one of the things which the residents they say is, today the earth has lost its most important crown. So there also you see how the residents of Yamunacharya in Srirangam, they consider that leaving or departure of Yamunacharya as if earth has lost its most important charm or crown of the glory. That means presence of great soul, presence of Balaram's representative, presence of Lord Balaram is actually the great portion of Mother Earth. And that's how Krishna is speaking and glorifying Balaram. So saying so, they came on the bank of river Yamuna below Govardhan Hill. So like that they reached to that particular place. Now there they started uh, playing many games. Probably Krishna and Balaram and all the Gopas, they would play very natural games. So when they saw honeybee making some sound, so then they started imitating honeybee. And in that way, then they started imitating parrot. Then they started trying to sing in a cuckoo voice. Then they were trying to cry like swan. And then they started dancing like peacock. And all the cowherd boys and all, they are laughing. Sometimes they would speak in a voice as deep as rumbling of clouds. And when, because now they are playing, so when Krishna saw that the animals whom they brought, mainly the cows, they went far away, then Krishna would lovingly call using his flute. And then these cows and all, they would come. So then, this is how they would imitate different birds such as chakoras, conchas, chakravahas, bharadwajas, and peacock. In our case, somehow we don't have any experience of seeing any bird. We don't know which bird is which bird. Only I think peacock we know. Otherwise, other birds we may not know. Like that, they were imitating. And then you see, when his elder brother, yeah, that means Balramji, when he became fatigued, when he became tired, so he laid his head on the lap of one cowherd boy, and Krishna is massaging his feet. Can you see? See, Balramji is lying down with his feet, and Krishna is massaging his feet. So this is a spiritual world where God Himself also becomes very happy by serving. In this new movie Mahavatar Narasimha, in that when Prahlad Maharaj first time he sees Lord Vishnu, so that time you find Lord Vishnu tells him, "मैं आपका दास हूँ, I am your servant." Then Prahlad Maharaj says, "My dear Lord, please don't speak like this. You are my master." Like that he says. So that is the mood of the spiritual world. Everyone is in the mood of servant. Like that. And then cowherd boys, they are dancing, singing, moving, fighting with each other. And then the Krishna and Balaram, they are glorifying their activity, they are laughing, seeing cowherd boys doing all these games. Now, when Krishna became tired, he also took rest under a tree, resting and putting his head on the lap of one Gopa, making his pillow. And then other Gopas, they came and they started massaging his feet. And then Lasudeva Goswami is saying, and others who were qualified by being free of all sin would got opportunity to thank us pray. It is not easy to serve the Lord. When one is very pure, then he gets this fortune of serving the Lord. And that purity comes from mercy of Lord. So then, like this, others were singing different songs. So in this way, the Supreme Lord, who is personally attended by the goddess of fortune, concealed all his transcendental opulence, and he was appearing like a simple cowherd boy. Yet, even while enjoying like a village boy in the company of other village residents, he often exhibited the feats only God could perform. So, although he was behaving like a normal boy, but then still sometimes he would do something which only God can do. So now what happened? All the cowherd boys, especially three, Shidama, Subala, and Stoka Krishna. So they came and they are very close friends of Krishna and Balaram. And these three friends, they consider themselves equal in strength to Krishna and Balaram. Shidama, Subala, and Stoka Krishna. They find that we are equal in strength to Krishna and Balaram. And they are equal sakhas. Like there are some sakhas who are junior to Krishna and Balaram. But these three, they are equal sakhas. So they have a more close, friendly relationship. So Subala, Shidama, and Stoka Krishna. So then they spoke. They said, O Ram, mighty armed one, O destroyer of the miscreants. So not far from here is a great forest of palm trees. So Acharyas, they say, why they are using this word, O more powerful one, O destroyer of the miscreants. Because they want to come to a situation that now time has come, we have to kill some people. So that's why saying, oh, most powerful one, oh, the killer of the enemies. Nearby only there is a forest, which is full of palm trees. There, in the Sri Varapuran, exact details are mentioned. Not far from the western side of Mathura, at a distance of 2 yojanas, that means 60 miles, is a holy place named Govardhan, which is more difficult to attain. And then, not far from the western side of Mathura, 1 yojana, that means 8 miles, is the forest known as Talvan, which was guarded by Renuka. Uh, so that means if you go towards Govardhan, then in between only Talvan will come. Govardhan is around 16 kilometers from Mathura. So when you go from Mathura to Govardhan, after 8 kilometers, Talvan will come. I have been to Talvan, but now there are no palm trees, no tal trees. So they speak like this. The detail is mentioned this. Okay. So in the Talvan forest, they say there are many fruits. falling from the trees, and many are already lying on the ground, but all the fruits are being guarded by the evil Dhanuka. So this Tal forest was very special and it has very special Tal trees. It is said in the scripture that even Indra would come to take these Tal fruits to have juice for himself, to make a special beverage for the demigods. But now, from that time, Kamsa came. So what Kamsa did was, he went and he subdued all the powerful warriors or the demons or the enemies, and he took over all the important places. You will find whenever a person becomes very powerful, this is how he tries to control. All the important places he will try to have under his control. So then he came to know about this Talwar that it has a special Tal trees and Tal fruits. And even Indra comes. So when Kamsa, he took control of this Tal forest also. And he appointed Dhanuka as the guardian, as the in charge. And then they said, "Oh Ram, oh Krishna, this Dhanuka is the most powerful demon, and he has assumed the form of an ash. He is surrounded by many such friends who have assumed the similar shape and who are also equally powerful. The demon Dhanuka has eaten men alive." Now you see the terror of Dhanuka. No man would come into this Talvan. No animal would enter into this Talvan. Even birds would not enter into this Talvan. The airspace was closed. If he would find any bird also flying, no airline also would go, because he would take that bird down by his potencies and powers and he would eat him. So that was his terror. Can you imagine? No animal, no man, no bird. So much protected his area was. Then it is mentioned in the Tal forest there were sweet smelling fruits and no one had ever tasted. Indeed, even now we can smell the fragrance of Tal fruit spreading all about. तो ये क्या बताया है कि इतने सुगंधित जो स्मेल है उस फ्रूट का, आप देखो कृष्ण बलराम यहाँ तक आ रहे हैं. Acharyas they say that time it was the wind was blowing from that direction to the this direction, that means from west to east, and they were going like this. So that is why the fragrance also was coming towards Krishna and Balaram direction. That's how all the Gopals they could see, and they said, Krishna, see the fragrance, how sweet the fruits are. And then they say, oh Krishna, please give these fruits for us. Our mind is getting attracted by this aroma. Oh Balaram, our desire to have this fruit is very great. If you think it is a good idea, great idea, then let's go to the Tal forest. So Krishna and Balaram they smiled, and they had only one desire, to please the Gopal. This is spiritual world. Everyone wants to have an opportunity to please someone, and then they want to try to please them. So Krishna and Balaram they laughed, and then they started towards Tal. So Lord Balaram entered the Tal forest first, and then with his two arms he took hold of one tree, and then like a maddened elephant started shaking that tree, and so many Tal fruits they started falling down. In Gopal Champu, there is Gopal Champu, in that the pastimes are mentioned in more a kind of pure poetic way and things like that. So in that it is mentioned, Snigdha he said that when Balramji entered into the forest, so all the cowherd boys they said, Balramji, show your strength. Let the world know how powerful you are. Then Balramji became, surcharged. Then he goes and he takes that tree and like that he shakes that tree to show the strength. See my strength. And then the fruits they start coming down. Now, as soon as the Dhanuka, who for him it was a great surprise, because even a bird would not come in his area, and now he's seeing suddenly so many fruits coming down. Someone has entered. So he came forward to attack. And you see the power of Dhanuka when he is running, earth is trembling. Means how much strength he must be having. And he came very fast, and being a ass, He came very close and then he took a sudden U-turn because donkeys and these they attack by using their the back leg. He came very fast, close to Balaram. He took a U-turn and then using his back leg hit very hard on the chest of Balaram. But who is Balaramji? So many planets, so many Brahmandas are on him, and they are like a mustard seed. He does not feel the weight also. So he was least affected. Then Dhanuka again kicks on the chest of Balaramji. Again Balaramji was stood. Then Balaramji understood. Third time when he tried attacking, Balaramji takes hold of his two lotus feet and then whirl him around like that. In Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada writes, uh, because Srila Prabhupada could not write commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam after Brahma Vimon Leela. And before this, Brahma Vimon Leela happened. That is the last pastime which was given commentary by Srila Prabhupada. So in the Krishna book of this pastime, Srila Prabhupada says, by the centrifugal force, Dhanuka lost his life. You must be knowing when you go like this, then the center point of gravity changes. So then the center point of gravity for Dhanuka became outside his body. And that's why he lost his life. So Prabhupada uses this word, centrifugal force. Like that. And then the demon was killed. And then you see Balaramji, he threw him uh, on the top of that palm tree, that tal tree, which was highest, which was having the most height, which was most tall. So he takes it and then throws him in the most tall tal tree, palm tree. And now hearing this, other demons, they come to know. So one by one, they start coming and they also start shaking. And then finally, here before that it is mentioned that Balramji, when he threw the Dhanuka on the top of the most tall tree, then what started happening, the tree started shaking. Just imagine how powerful the Dhanuka was and how much weight he must be having. Shaking like this, the tree started shaking the nearby trees also. And then like this, finally the tree broke and fell apart. And because of this tree, other trees also fell apart. They also broke. And now other demons will come. Now when other demons will come, then Krishna also will come into the pastime. And then both of them, they will take the rear legs of both all the these donkeys or asses who are coming. And then one by one, they will start throwing them. And all these donkeys, they will land on the top of these palm trees. And all these donkeys, they were of different colors. So because of which, the whole environment will become like a rainbow. This is how Sukadeva Goswami explains. And then it seems that Parishit Maharaj was a little surprised that how so easily Balaramji killed Dhanuka. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying, my dear Parishit, that Lord Balaram killed Dhanuka is not such a wonderful thing. Considering his unlimited personality of Godhead, the controller of the entire universe, indeed the entire cosmos rests upon him just as a woven cloth rests upon its own horizontal and vertical thread. So what very beautiful analogy is giving. He's saying that it's not a very surprising thing for Balaram to kill Dhanuka. He is the basis of everything. Like any cloth you take, in that there are vertical threads and then there are horizontal threads. If you remove vertical and horizontal threads, what remains? Nothing. Because the basis of cloth is the horizontal and vertical threads. So if you remove all of them, nothing remains. Same he says, this is the horizontal and vertical basis of everything what exists in the world is Lord Balaram. If you remove him, nothing is there. So like that he gives analogy. So Srila Prabhupada disciples are saying that how unfortunate people cannot appreciate the pastimes of the Lord. But Srila Jiva Goswami explains that the Supreme Lord possesses unlimited potency and strength. Actually, we can't fathom what potency the Lord has. In this Mahavatar Narsimha movie, you'll find in the last, Hiranyakashipu becomes big, and Jambu and so many things will come. And in the end, He was on the hand of the Lord Mahavishnu. The Lord is so great we can't fathom also. Especially in Kaliga, you see tiny people having some wealth, some control, or some power. They start thinking, I'm very powerful. But actually, what power they have? Tomorrow they will die by heart attack when news will come that so and so great person died. Sometimes the news comes, right? That टाटा के चेयरमैन जा रहे थे मर्सिडीज में एक्सीडेंट हुआ चेयरमैन जो है चेयर छोड़ के चले गए करेक्ट so big people they die like that. So this pastime our acharya will explain has a very special significance in devotee's life. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has actually compared the significance of all these pastimes in life of a sadhaka. And it's very beautiful. Hare Krishna. Am I audible now, Prabhu?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Okay. So we were discussing the significance of this fasting. This so Dhankasur, he represents ignorance of the knowledge of soul. So what Dhankasur represents is Ajnana, ignorance of the knowledge of the soul. That's the mentality which is represented by Dhankasur. So according to Garg Samhita, Dhankasur was son of Bali Maharaj. One of the reasons why Krishna did not kill Dhankasur was this also. Because Krishna had given promise that I will not kill anyone who is in the family of Prahlad Maharaj. Because Dhanuka in the previous life was son of Bali Maharaj, that's why Krishna chose not to kill him and be killed by Balaram. So what had happened was, can you imagine Dhanuka in the previous life also as a son of Bali Maharaj? With 10,000 women, he went to Gandhamadhan mountain. 10,000 women. तो उसकी कितनी गर्लफ्रेंड्स थी सोचो आप 10,000 गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ में गंधमादन माउंटेन पे चलता है वो भी कहाँ गए हिमालय में कहीं और जाना चाहिए गोवा में जाना चाहिए वहां वो गया बद्रीनाथ में जाना सारी रहते हैं लेकिन कई बार क्या होता है इनको भी लगता है वहां कोई नहीं आता है तो कम नहीं आते कोई भक्ति करना नहीं चाहता है सारी I remember in IIT Kanpur initial days when I tried preaching. So somebody told me, oh, there is a Shiva temple inside. I thought, oh, that is a nice place. I will sit there. Some sincere boys will come. Then I will try to talk to them. I sat there for a few hours. Then in the evening time, one couple came. Boyfriend, girlfriend. After some time, another couple came. I thought, "अरे, ये क्या हो रहा है?" Because they also thought that is a nice place, no one will come. And I thought, some five people will come. So he also went to Gandhamadan mountain. And he was not knowing in one cave, Durvasa Muni was doing tapasya. And he outside he started playing his DJ and all the music system. They started dancing. And then this Durvasa Muni became surprised. कौन मूर्ख यहाँ पर आ गया? Who is making this sound? Who is disturbing my meditation? So then he came out and he saw ये डांस कर रहा है 10,000 स्त्रियों के साथ. Then Durvasa Muni told him, you fool, तुम गधे की तरह काम कर रहे हो, गधे बन जाओ. ये अकल नहीं है कि साधु का स्थान है, आध्यात्मिक स्थान है, यहाँ पर ऐसा गंदा काम कर रहे हो, इतना डलनेस है तुम्हारी चेतना में, इतना शारीरिक चेतना है, तुम गधे हो. That was his that like that. So then he becomes a ass. And then he blesses him also because he was a devotee. So naturally, a curse by devotee is a blessing in disguise. That after 4 lakh years, so he was donkey for 4 lakh years. After 4 lakh years, in one of the forests near Mathura, he was delivered by Lord Balaram. So that's how he was. Yes. So the Dhanukasura actually represents this jnana, ignorance of the knowledge. And because of this ajnana, what happens is this proprietorship mentality comes, this possessing mentality. You see, because of not having knowledge of soul, how much people want to identify and how much they have this tendency to possess. Can you imagine the limit the Dhanukasura had? He did not wanted even a bird to come in his area. So much extreme possessive mentality. And you see, those who are in ignorance of the soul, they have this mentality too much. You find nowadays, countries that have this mentality, don't enter our country. The people they are fighting ego in the court. There are majorly two kind of cases which are, so many number. One is related to divorce, another is related to property. Women and money. These are big cases. So many cases. ये हमारा एरिया था, ये उनका एरिया था, इसने इधर कर दिया, उसने उधर कर दिया. So many cases. Yeah. So because people have this Dhanka mentality. I heard there was one person who had planted a mango tree, and then there was a boundary and there was another plot. So naturally, the tree when it grows, then some branches of the tree they go into the nearby plot. So when the mangoes came, the nearby plot wala person he took out some mangoes which were on his side, and he became angry. हमारा पेड़ है, तुमने mango कैसे ले लिए? He told, but your mango is coming on our property. He said, so what? Mango हमारा पानी हम डालते हैं, पेड़ हमने लगाया, तुमने कैसे ले लिया? तो उसको भी गुस्सा आया. उसने बोला तो फिर हमारा मैंगो जो है हमारी प्रॉपर्टी में नहीं आना चाहिए. उसने पूरा काट दिया साइड. You see, this is Hanka mentality, possessive mentality. Like this. शिला भक्ति संजय ठाकुर, हाँ, शिला भक्ति सरस्वती ठाकुर ने भी इसको श्री चैतन्य शिक्षामृत में लिखा हुआ है और भक्तिमान ठाकुर ने ये बताया. ओके, शिला भक्तिमान ठाकुर of the The name of the book is Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita. So there are two demons killed by Baldev, but the contamination they represent will have to be removed by the dint of devotee's own endeavor. This is one of the secret mysteries of Bhakti. तो ये क्या बता रहे हैं? Although these two demons are killed by Baldev, that does not mean that Lord Balaram will just kill them. When a sadhaka works very hard to remove them, he prays desperately to not have them, then Lord Balaram's mercy comes and then these two demons will be removed. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So this Dhamka represents the extreme possessive mentality which people get because of the ignorance of the soul. Srila Prabhupada says in the Vedic time, people would understand that the whole world belongs to Lord. And they would not fight like this, which we see now. Everyone is fighting over land, everyone is fighting, and everyone is trying to claim this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Like this. Especially for a devotee, you have to understand that till that time we have this too much ignorance mentality. To that extent, we will have this kind of consciousness of possessive mentality. So when His Holiness Kadam Karam Swami Maharaj was giving a talk on this learning from Hemkasur, he spoke that how that is why for devotees, giving charity is very important. He said giving charity to devotees is important because by doing so, we can somehow overcome our deep rooted material attachment. So this is another lesson which Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. The Hemkasur represents ignorance, and because of that ignorance, what happens? A person takes a heavy load of possessiveness, heavy load of material attachment. So he's saying Dhanukas represents the bad mentality of overburdened load carrying. And what is this overburdened load carrying? The overburden of material attachments, overburden of material identification, material possessiveness. So Maharaj is saying when we do charity, then we overcome our deep rooted material attachment. We must learn to give then rather to take. Just look like Dayananda did. Dayananda was Prabhupada's dear disciple who had done so many wonderful things. He joined in San Francisco, and Dayananda was 10 years older than everybody else. And he had a profession. He was driving a taxi and making good money. So Dayananda would buy the devotees clothes and whatever else they needed. For himself, he would not buy anything. He would not spend money for himself. He would buy clothes for Salvation Army, a pair of pants for $1 or something like that, because he did not want to spend money on himself. Once the devotee told him, "You have to buy some decent clothes. You cannot just buy these $1 pants any longer." And they sent him to a shop, and when he put on some pants, some pants, and he saw the price, he thought, God, how can I spend so much money on myself? I can't do it. So he just put the new pants over his old pants and tried to walk out of the shop, but he got caught. Anyway, a few weeks later, he was in the court and he explained the whole story to the judge. You understood what happened? He stole because he saw so much big price and devotees are so much pushing me to have new clothes. So he stole the new clothes. Later on, he was caught and then he told the whole story to a judge. How he was a monk, how he was given his whole life, how they forced him, and he just could not tolerate spending so much money. And the way he explained, it was so sincere that the shop security who had arrested him was there as a witness and said, Your Honor, I will pay for these pens. And the security became so happy hearing, he told him, "Ke pen ke liye main de दूं." In that way, he did not get convicted. Jahanand was such a devotee who gave himself completely. Giving in charity means really giving ourselves in charity. Giving things in charity, giving the fruits of our labor in charity is one thing. But still, a greater gift is to give ourselves in charity, to dedicate our life to the well being of others, and not be so concerned with what is going to become of me. If I become servant of everyone else, then there will be no time left for me to do my things. The highest and greatest act is to give ourselves. So this is how Maharaj explained that when we have this kind of cultivate, so this ajnana, the ignorance of the self, can go. One solution, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, is by regularly hearing from the representative of Lord Balaram, by regularly hearing from our Master. So then we regularly hear, then we understand I am not this body, I am so. So much we fight over temporary things, but then our time will come where we have to leave. So when we hear regularly Nityam Bhagavad Sevya, then this tendency goes. And second is when we try to live for others, when we try to help others, when we try to give to others, then this tendency will go. Otherwise, this tendency will keep us here in the material world. You see, when the trees are offering fruits and flowers to the lotus feet of Balaram, so Krishna is saying, by doing so, they are so fortunate that they will be free from their material bondage. So our greatest fortune is to have opportunity to offer something to Krishna. Yeah. Acharya Tantu was telling recently they had yesterday was telling that they wanted to make a new temple in a new town, Kolkata. So then they um, called many wealthy people and then they told that this is the project, we want all of you to support this. He was telling, पहला सवाल लोगों ने क्या पूछा, स्वामी जी अगर हम इतना देंगे तो क्या कितना मिलेगा हमको, हमको क्या मिलेगा, इतना देंगे तो हमको क्या मिलेगा. सबका ये सवाल था कि 10 लाख देंगे तो क्या मिलेगा, 20 लाख देंगे तो क्या मिलेगा. तो आचार्य लोग जो है उनको बोले, अरे पूरा जिंदगी तुम लोग जो है कुछ पाने के चक्कर में ही करते हो, कम से कम भगवान के लिए तो निस्वार्थ भाव से सेवा करो. अगर तुम ये सोच के करोगे क्या मिलेगा तो एक ही चीज मिलेगा तो like that return. That if you are expecting something in return in material world, you get only one thing, that is dukkha. But learn how to selflessly just serve Krishna. To have this opportunity to serve Krishna, by that only we will have spiritual happiness. Otherwise, it is very difficult. This Dhamaka mentality is trying to grab things, trying to hold on to things, trying to keep things, not knowing that they belong to Supreme Lord. And the more we learn this, then we can be free from this tendency. So one is to hear from Guru to understand we are not this body, we are soul, and second is to help others, serve others, give others, like Hare Krishna. So today is a very special day. We all can pray to Balaram Ji. And also today day we can thank all representatives of Balaram Ji's who are in our life, who are helping us so that we can also try to serve them very well. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.